fundamental issues that needed to be addressed before the bill could be transmitted for presidential assent. Senate notes that the observations of the legal department have been worked on extensively and relying on Order 1B and 52(6) of the Senate Standing Order, accordingly resolves to rescind its earlier decision on the Police Institutions Bill 2025 and refer same to the Committee of the Whole for consideration and passage. And then 2, motion on recommittal of the Federal University of Education, Numan, Adamawa State. The Senate recalls that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has signified the withholding of his assets on the Federal University of Education, Numan, Adamawa State. Senate observes that Mr. President's withholding of assent to the bill is based on the concerns regarding certain words and phrases reflected in the bill that may be inconsistent with other acts establishing federal universities. Among such are A, misspelling of statutes as STATUES in items 13 and 15 under arrangement of sections. B, Section 22, which conferred the disposal of land to the governor instead of the president. C, omission or preposition of between the word award and degree in Section 25(4)(b), and D, misspelling of the phrase 1/3 as on-third in Article 4.3 of the third schedule. Senate concludes that the observations as itemized by Mr. President have been effectively corrected. Accordingly resolves to refer the President's observations on the bill to the Committee of the Whole for consideration and passage. I so move, Mr. President.
The Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I so support.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support that we revert to Committee of the Whole to further consider this recommittal say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. We revert to Committee of the Whole.
Mr. President, I rise to move that the Senate resolves to a Committee of the Whole for further consideration of this motion. I so move.
Yeah. Yes. Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I support the motion that the Senate resolves into the Committee of the Whole to further consider the bill. I so second.
So let me recommit my question. Those in support that we move straight into Committee of the Whole for further consideration say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This one is next. So that before we come back to Chairman, Police Senate Committee on Police Affairs. I recall that the Senate had earlier passed this police institutions bill, and now is here for recommittal. Please point out the specific reason why you are here.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Ahmed Abdulhamid Malam Maduri. But, Mr. President, as you are aware, as mentioned, the bill was passed by both chambers, the Senate and House of Representatives. But the legal department observed that the name of university is in the bill, and the university has to stand alone. So that's why we separated the university from the institutions bill. So what we need, we don't have to go clause by clause. It's just to ratify the recommittal, sir.
Okay. Distinguished colleagues, on the Nigerian Police Training Institutions Establishment Bill 2025, earlier passed by both chambers of the National Assembly, a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Police Training Institutions to serve as high-level centers for a provision of professional training and for related matters. Now we have excised the Police University of Science and Technology. So those in support of the recommittal say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. On the Federal University of Education, Numan Adamawa State, we have Mr. President had made some observations, and we have come back to you. This the committee, the corrections have been corrected, so I can just go ahead. I can go ahead. The correction of the statutes as recommended. Those in support say aye. The spelling, actually. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Amendment of section 22. Replacement of the word governor with the word president. Because the president is the visitor to the university instead of the governor. Those in support of the correction to Mr. President as enshrined and as returned herein, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. On section 25, omission of preposition of between the word award and degree, now corrected as enshrined in section 25(4). Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. On the third schedule, misspelling of the phrase 1/3, now corrected. Those in support of the phrase as corrected say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate, we may have to revert to plenary to report progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise to move that the Senate now reverse to plenary to enable the chairman to report progress. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, I second the motion that Senate reverts to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this August Assembly do revert to plenary for the chair to report progress. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. We revert to plenary to report progress. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the motions on the recommittal of the Nigerian Police Force Institutions Bill 2025 and also reconsidered the Federal University of Education Newman Establishment Bill 2025 and approved the report as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Accordingly, those in support that the clerk of the Senate be now directed to reflect the amendments in the two bills accordingly as passed. Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Therefore, the clerk of the Senate is hereby directed to reflect the corrections in the two bills as passed. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and Other Financial Institutions on the confirmation. The third order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and Other Financial Institutions on the confirmation of the nominations of the following persons as listed on the order paper for appointment as part-time chairman and non-executive directors of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, they are Dr. Bala Bello, part-time chairman to represent the Northeast, Yusuf Tegina Sule, non-executive director, North Central, Mr. Adeyemo Adeoye Stephen, non-executive director, Southwest, Mr. Yahaya Ibrahim, non-executive director, Northwest, Mr. Odion Charles Iyare, non-executive director, South-South, and Mrs. Emily Chidinma Osuji, non-executive director, Southeast. Mr. President, you may wish to invite most distinguished Senator Osita Izunaso who is standing in for Senator Abiru Adetokunbo, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Distinguished Senator Osita Isunaso, a good neighbor to Senator Abiru. You may wish to proceed to lay and present the report.
Thank you, Mr. President of the Senate. My name is Osita Izunaso. I represent Imo West. I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and other financial institutions on the confirmation of the nominations of the following persons for appointment as part-time chairman and non-executive directors of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. Dr. Bala Bello, part-time chairman from Northeast. Yusuf Tegina Sule, non-executive director, North Central. Mr. Adeyemo Adeoye Stephen, non-executive director, Southwest. Mr. Yahaya Ibrahim, non-executive director, Northwest. Mr. Odion Charles Iyare, non-executive director, South-South. And Mrs. Emily Chidema Osuji, non-executive director, Southeast. I so move, Mr. President.
Senator Binus Yaro.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I'm Binus Yaro, representing Adamawa South. I rise to second the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Banking and Insurance and other financial institutions for the confirmation of the nominees of Mr. President. I so second.
Which colleagues? The motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may proceed to lay the report. So just synopsis, findings, and summarize.
Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, the Senate at this sitting on Wednesday, 19th March 2025, considered the request of Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the confirmation of appointment of 6 nominees as part-time chairman and non-executive directors of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, and refers same to the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and other financial institutions for further legislative action. The request for confirmation of nominees for the appointment of the underlisted nominees as part-time chairman and non-executive directors of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, was made pursuant to the provisions of Section 10, Sub 1A, D, and E of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria Act 2010 as amended. Dr. Bello Bala, part-time chairman, Northeast. Yusuf Tegina Sule, non-executive director, North Central. Mr. Adeyemo Adeoye Stephen, non-executive director, Southwest. Mr. Yahaya Ibrahim, non-executive director, Northwest. Mr. Odiom Charles Iyare, non-executive director, South-South. Mrs. Emily Chidema Osuji, non-executive director, Southeast. The nominees and agencies which nominated them as part-time chairmen and non-executive directors are as follows: Dr. Bala Bello, Central Bank of Nigeria; Yusuf Tegina Sule, Federal Minister of Finance; Mr. Adeyemo Adoye Stephen, Federal Minister of Finance; Yahaya Ibrahim, Central Bank of Nigeria; Mr. Charles Odion, Central Bank of Nigeria; Mrs. Emily Chidinma Osuji, Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC. Findings. At the end of the screening exercise of the nominees, the committee's findings are as follows: that the appointment of Dr. Bala Bello, Mr. Yusuf Tegina Sule, Mr. Adeyemo Adoye Stephen, Mr. Yahaya Ibrahim, Mr. Odion Charles Yare, and Mrs. Emily Chidinma Osuji are in accordance with Section 10, Sub A, B, D, and E of AMCON Act 2010 as amended. That the recommendations of the nominees are in tandem with the provisions of Section 10, Sub 2 of the Act, which provides that a person shall not be appointed as a member of the board unless such a person possesses 10 years cognitive financial experience at a senior management level or such other relevant agencies as may be prescribed by the Central Bank of Nigeria. That the nominees' performance during the screening exercise is indicative of their qualifications and sustainability for their appointments as part-time chairman and non-executive directors of AMCON. That the nominees possesses the expertise, knowledge, and professional experiences to be appointed as chairman, part-time chairman, and non-executive directors of AMCON. That the committee did not receive any petition against their nominations for appointment as part-time chairman and non-executive directors of AMCON. And that nominees have been cleared by Nigerian Police Force, Department of State Security, and possesses the code of conduct acknowledgement slips. Recommendations. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and other financial institutions, after robust engagement with the nominees and being satisfied with their experiences, performances, and academic qualifications, hereby recommend as follows: that the Senate do confirm the nomination of all the underlisted as part-time chairman and non-executive directors of the Asset Management Company Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. Dr. Bello Bala, part-time chairman; Mr. Yusuf Tuga Sule, non-executive director; Mr. Adeyemo Adoye Stephen, non-executive director; Mr. Yahaya Ibrahim, non-executive director; Mr. Charles Odion Miyare, non-executive director; and Mr. Emily Chidinma Osuji, non-executive director. The committee wishes to sincerely express its appreciation to the Senate for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. I thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished Senator Olamilego.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me start by commending the chairman of this committee for a job well done on the screening of the 6th nominee of the president for confirmation of appointment as part-time chairman and non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. Mr. President, I want to strongly believe that that's the right step in the right direction, and that the expiration of the former chairman and director, since it has expired, it is only right and proper for a new nominee, a new set of directors and a part-time chairman to be confirmed. But Mr. President, I want to say this. I think there is need for us, after this confirmation, to look into the law setting up AMCON, because it is expected that the time frame for the operation of Asset Management Company of Nigeria should be clearly stated, because the way it is as if they are trying to make it a permanent agencies of the government, and that should not be the case. But for now, since we are still working and a lot of issues are still coming up, I think it is only right and proper that we put a board in place that we meet the needs and yearnings of the law establishing AMCON, so that AMCON can function properly in accordance with the law establishing the agency. So once again, Mr. President, I am in total support of what the committee has done, and I commend them for the job well done. Thank you, Mr. President. I so submit.
Leader of the Senate, you may wish to move that we go into executive session to consider this, into committee of the whole to consider the report.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate do now resolve into the committee of the whole to consider the report. I so move.
Yes, the minority leader.
Mr. President, I support the motion that the Senate resolves into the committee of the whole to consider the report.
Distinguished colleagues, those who are in support that we revert to committee of the whole to further consider the report, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Dr. Bala Bello, representing Northeast, for appointment as part-time chairman of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The appointment of Dr. Bala Bello, representing Northeast, is hereby approved by the Senate. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the appointment of Yusuf Tengina Sule, representing North Central, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The appointment of Yusuf Tengina Sule, representing North Central, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria is hereby approved. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Adeyemo Adeoye Stephen, representing Southwest, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The appointment of Mr. Adeyemo Adeoye Stephen, representing Southwest, as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria is hereby approved. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Mr. Yahya Ibrahim, representing Northwest, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The appointment of Mr. Yahya Ibrahim, representing Northwest, as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria is hereby approved. Distinguished colleagues, would the Senate approve the appointment of Mr. Odion Charles Iyare, representing South-South, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The appointment of Mr. Odion Charles Iyare, representing South-South, as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria is hereby approved. Distinguished colleagues, would the Senate approve the appointment of Mrs. Emily Chidima Osuji, representing Southeast, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The appointment of Mrs. Emily Chidima Osuji, representing Southeast, as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria is hereby approved. Distinguished colleagues, may I now invite the leader of the Senate to move a motion for us to revert to plenary for the chairman to report progress.
Mr. Senate President, distinguished colleagues, I stand to move a motion that we refer to plenary for Mr. President to report progress.
The minority leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I support the motion that the Senate reverse to plenary to enable the chair to report progress. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we revert to plenary for the chairman to report progress. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. We revert to plenary for the chair to report progress. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and other financial institutions on the screening of Mr. President's nominees for appointment as part-time chairman on the one hand and non-executive directors on the other for the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, and approved the nominations of Dr. Bala Bello, part-time chairman, Mr. Yusuf Tegina Sule, non-executive director, Mr. Adeyemo Adeoye Stephen, non-executive director, Mr. Yahya Ibrahim, non-executive director, Mr. Odion Charles Yare, non-executive director, Mrs. Emily Chidima Osuji, non-executive director, all as part-time chairman, non-executive directors of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Dr. Bala Bello, representing Northeast, for appointment as part-time chairman of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON? Those in favor of the confirmation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Bala Bello, representing Northeast, is hereby confirmed as part-time chairman of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Yusuf Tegina Sule, representing North Central, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Yusuf Tegina Sule, representing North Central, is hereby confirmed as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mr. Adeyemo Adeoye Stephen, representing Southwest, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Adeyemo Adeoye Stephen, representing Southwest, is hereby confirmed as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mr. Yahya Ibrahim, representing Northwest, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Yahya Ibrahim, representing Northwest, is hereby confirmed as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Odion Charles Iyare, representing South-South, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Odion Charles Iyare, representing South-South, is hereby confirmed as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mrs. Emily Chidima Osuji, representing Southeast, for appointment as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mrs. Emily Chidima Osuji, representing Southeast, is hereby confirmed as non-executive director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. Let me thank the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and other financial institutions for the painstaking manner in which they carried out this assignment and brought this report to the Senate. We appreciate your efforts. I also thank my colleagues for their contributions towards the screening, approval, and confirmation of these nominees for Mr. President's appointment. And I do hope that the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, with the new inputs, will do its best to carry out the federal responsibilities bestowed on it, and of course, in quick time, so that it does not remain in perpetuity. I thank you all. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the fourth order of the day is presentation and consideration of reports of Committee on National Identity Card and National Population, on National Identity Management Commission Repeal and Enact Bill 2025, SB 472. The distinguished senator will recall that the bill was read to the committee on Tuesday, 2nd July 2024. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Ume Victor, Chairman of the committee, to move motion for presentation and consideration of the report.
Senator Victor Ume, Governor Mecca.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Senator Victor Ume. I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, I rise to move that the Senate receives the report of the Committee on National Identity Card and National Population to receive and consider the report of the Committee on National Identity Card and National Population on the National Identity Management Commission Repeal and Enactment Bill 2024, SB 472. The correction should be made is SB 472, 2024, not 2025, Senate Leader. It's a mistake by the Rules and Business Committee. Mr. President, with your kind permission, may I lay the report and the bill for consideration.
Senator Ide Dafinone.
Jimo.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, Ide Dafinone, representing Delta Central. Mr. President, I rise to support the motion raised by distinguished Senator Ume Thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, motion has been moved and seconded that we do receive the report from distinguished Senator Ome from the National Identity and National Population on the National Identity Management Commission Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2025, SB 472. Those in support of the motion as moved and seconded say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished Senator Victor May, you may proceed to lay the petition. I'll lay your report. So you may give us a summary of the report.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. This is a report of the bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act 2007 and to provide for the establishment of a national identity database and the National Identity Management Commission charged with responsibilities for maintenance of national database, the registration of individuals, and the issuance of identity credentials, and for related matters, SB 472. The Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at its sitting on Tuesday, 2nd July 2024, read for the second time the bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act 2007 and to provide for the establishment of National Identity Database and the National Identity Management Commission, charged with the responsibilities for maintenance of national database, the registration of individuals, and the issuance of identity credentials, and for related matters, SB 472. And the same bill was referred to the Committee on National Identity Cards and Population for further legislative action. The bill was sponsored by distinguished Senator Jibrin Barau, and it seeks to establish the National Identity Management Commission to manage the country's national identity management system, mandate the creation of national identity database to store citizens' biometric and demographic data, made it compulsory for all citizens to register for purposes including government services, financial transactions, and so on and so forth, provided for protection of citizens' personal data and privacy, empower NIMC to issue regulations and guidelines for the implementation of the Act and for other related matters. The committee held a public hearing on Wednesday, the 23rd of July, 2024, in order to get views and opinions of stakeholders and the general public. It collated memoranda from the general public and consulted with legal drafting experts. 17 stakeholders appeared before the committee during the public hearing. The objectives of the bill are as follows: to provide for the establishment of national identity database for the nation, establish the National Identity Management Commission charged with responsibility for maintenance of the national identity database, registration of registrable persons, issuance of identity credentials, and superintend over identities management issues. To strengthen the legal framework of national and digital identity, thereby creating an optimal foundational identification ecosystem that fosters inclusion, universal coverage, and accessibility. Establish a harmonious foundational identity system that is governed by a less restrictive, less cumbersome, non-discriminatory, non-punitive data protection, cost-effective, and compliance with global best practices. The bill, when passed into law, will address the challenges and limitations of National Identity Management Commission Act 2007. Repeal it, and then close the gap of incomplete and inaccurate national identity database, provide efficient governance and service delivery. Distinguished senators, the bill received overwhelming support from stakeholders at the public hearing due to the need to implement the long-awaited database system. The committee at its meeting had a clause-by-clause consideration of the bill and came up with the recommendations here.
And recommended as follows.
Recommended as follows, yes. The committee hereby recommends that a bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act 2007 and to provide for the establishment of a national identity database and a National Identity Management Commission charged with the responsibilities for maintenance of national database, the registration of individuals, and the issuance of identity credentials, and for related matters 2024 SB 417 to be passed. The bill consists of 41 clauses, schedule, a short title, and the explanatory memorandum. Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, the committee urges you to give the bill as rated passage that it deserves. Its passage into law, as evidenced in the wide support it received at the public hearing. Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, the committee would like to thank the President of the Senate, the Deputy President of the Senate, Senate leadership, and all distinguished colleagues for the opportunity given to us to serve in this capacity. I so present, Mr. President.
Thank you. The Leader of the Senate may wish to move a motion for us to resolve into Committee of the Whole. We're going to close by clause.
Mr. President, I stand to move a motion that we revert to Committee of Whole to consider the report.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I second the motion as moved. Thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, those in support that we revert to Committee of the Whole to undertake clause-by-clause consideration of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, report of the Committee on National Identity Card on a bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act 2007 and to provide for the establishment of the National Identity Database and the National Identity Management Commission charged with the responsibilities for maintenance of the national database, the registration of individuals, and the issuance of identity credentials, and for related matters 2025. Please correct what you have there. This is being reenacted in 2025, not 2024. The long title in page 1, those in support that this remains part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 2 to 10. Those in support that clause 2 to 10 remain part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 11 to 20. Those in support that clause 11 to 20 remain part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 21 to 30. Those in support that clause 21 to 30 remain part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 31 all the way down to clause 35. Those in support that they remain part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Interpretation clause. So clause 36 to 40. Those in support that clauses 36 to 40 remain part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. If you look, you'll see that the interpretation clause is on page 36. And that's clause 40 that we have just taken. The schedules are on page 38. Schedules 1 and all that. Explanatory memorandum in clause 40. Those in support that reform part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let's say those in support that clause 41 remains part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as chairman, I rise to move that the Senate do revert to plenary to enable the chairman report progress.
Just a minute, please. Yes, sirs.
Thank you, Mr. President, sitting as chair. I seek your leave and the leave of the Senate to call attention to a few amendments or proposed insertions in this new bill that conflict with some existing laws and will also give NIMSI mandates that they do not have. And I refer here to page 6, subsection clause 7 of the bill that says the root, part of the new suggestion that NIMSI will have the authority to be root certification authority and issuing authority responsible for the national public key infrastructure. NIMSI is an end user of technology. NIMSI cannot be a certification authority. This is mandate that is clearly within the mandate of such organizations as National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. In the same vein, if you also go to page 7, clause 8, it also says under subclause F and G. So, Mr. President, sitting as chair, I am moving a motion that all those new additional clauses that didn't come with the original section, clause 7J on page 6 and clause 8, subclause F and G on page 7. Mr. President, sitting as chair, I so move that these two of them, the two of them, clause 7, subsection J, and clause 8, subsections F and G, should be expunged from this bill. I so move, sir.
Let me hear from the chairman of National Population Commission and National Identity Card. He has moved a motion. He has moved a motion to wish to second the motion that we drop clause on page 6, clause J, and on page 7, F and G.
Thank you, Mr. President.
8, F, G, and 7, J.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I rise to second the motion that clause 7J in page 6 of this bill and clauses 8F and G of this bill be dropped from the bill. So second.
Distinguished colleagues, this is the beauty of legislation. The chairman of cybercrime has pointed out that these functions already belong to existing agencies, NIDA and others. Those in support that clause 7J on page 6 and clause 8F and G be expunged from the bill, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So those clauses are hereby expunged. Secretary, take note. Yes, Minority Leader. No, Leader of the Senate, you may wish to move for us to revert to plenary to report progress as amended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as chair, I so move.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, I so second.
Those in support that the chair reverts to plenary to report progress, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on National Identity Card and Population on the National Identity Management Commission Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2025 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Number of clauses 1 to 39 as recommended. Clause 6 as recommended. Clauses 7 and 8 as amended. Clauses 9 to 39 as recommended. Interpretation clause now 40 as recommended. Short title as recommended. Schedule as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Leader of the Senate, may wish to move that we proceed to read the third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President, for always ensuring that I'm well guided. I rise to move that the bill be now read for the third time. I so move.
Mr. President, I second the motion that the bill be read the third time. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this bill, as amended, be now read the third time. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, I bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act number 23, 2007, to establish the National Identity Database and the National Identity Management Commission, charged with the responsibilities of maintaining the National Identity Database, registration of individuals, and issuance of identity credentials, and for related matters, 2025. Third reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act number 23, 2007, to establish the National Identity Database and the National Identity Management Commission, charged with the responsibilities of maintaining the National Identity Database, registration of individuals, and issuance of identity credentials, and for related matters, 2025. Third reading taken. Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act number 23, 2007, to establish the National Identity Database and the National Identity Management Commission, charged with the responsibilities of maintaining the National Identity Database and registration of individuals and issuance of identity credentials, and for related matters, 2025, third reading taken and passed. Let me thank the chairman and members of the Senate Committee on the National Identity and National Population for a wonderful job done, and thank my colleagues for their contributions, and particularly thank my brother SARS for the observation to ensure that this bill, when assented into an act of parliament by Mr. President, will not conflict with any other extant laws of the land. So I thank all of you, and I do know that the Senate will continue to remain proactive. So it's now the job of the Senate leader to ensure that what we have passed here is in conformity with what has been passed by the House of Representatives, and in the effect that there is any differential, we go into the usual conference committee to resolve the differences. So I thank all of you, and I pray that this bill will ensure that we have proper record and proper data to plan not just for the current generation, but for future generations of Nigerians. Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the fifth order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Health on the Orthopedic Hospitals Act Amendment Bill 2025 SB 582. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Thursday, 12th December 2024. Mr. President, you may wish to invite most distinguished Senator Osita Ungo, standing in for the chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Dismissed Senator Osita Ungo.
Thank you, Mr. President, and most distinguished colleagues. I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Health on the Orthopedic Hospitals Act Amendment Bill 2025, SB 582. I so move, Mr. President.
Yes, the motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support that this.
It has not been seconded. It's yet to be seconded.
The minority side is always used to seconding. No, don't, it's not you. Let us have another person. Senator Agaraga.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to Senator Chief Benson Sunday Agaraga is my name. I represent the good people of Bayelsa East Senatorial District in Bayelsa State. I rise to second the motion, ably moved by distinguished Senator Osita Ungu, for the presentation of the report. Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
The motion has been moved and seconded for the presentation of this report. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Sitangu, you may proceed to lead the report and thereafter give us the synopsis and the summary.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at its sitting on Tuesday, 25th February 2025, read for the second time the bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act, Cap 010, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004, to provide for the establishment of the National Orthopedic Hospital, Obokun, Osun State, SB 582, and referred same to the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary for further legislative action. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, Nigerian population is estimated at over 200 million, making it one of the densely populated countries in the world. The country is plagued with poverty and extremely high burden of diseases, albeit in a specialized area of medicine concerned with the musculoskeletal system responsible for many important functions, including joints, replacement, fractures, joint pain, sports injuries, arthritis, and other injuries and conditions. Orthopedic disorders such as fractures, musculoskeletal disorders, spinal disease and cancers, tumors, and congenital defects are suffered by many citizens without adequate care. Mr. President, the committee observed that this bill has gone through our legislative process in the Ninth Assembly and was awaited presidential assent before the lapse of the Assembly. The committee, therefore, knows that the importance of orthopedic hospitals and the need to locate one in Obukun, with the aim of improving health care in patients, thereby bringing health care closer to residents of the densely populated urban and rural communities, as well as serving neighboring states, Nigeria in general, and by implication, extending lifespan. Mr. President, the committee recommends as follows. After a clause-by-clause consideration of the bill, the committee recommends that the amended bill be approved as recommended. In conclusion, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, the committee would like to thank the Senate President, the Deputy Senate President, and the entire Senate leadership, and all distinguished colleagues for the opportunity given to us to serve in this capacity. I so submit, Mr. President.
Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, may I move a motion that we should resolve into committee of whole to consider the report? I so move.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I second the motion that the Senate resolves into the committee of the whole to consider the report. I so second.
Yes. Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we dissolve into committee of the whole to consider the report. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Maiduri. Distinguished Senator Maiduri. Just before you step out, because I noticed some of you are stepping out to do prayers.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to just mention that the iftar for today, to get complete with Lent, the Lenten dinner from the Governors Forum. They're inviting the leadership of National Assembly. They want to also mingle with party leaders and senior government officials, and they've suggested that we should at least come together with the leadership and at least 20 senators to breakfast with them by 6 o'clock this evening. Principal officers, 20 other distinguished senators. Wednesday, 26 March at Fraser Suites, Abuja, 6:30 prompt. So the Deputy Senate President with the leader will meet the 20 senators who may be interested in going with the leadership. So just give your name to the DSP so that we can do documentation and forward to them. Because I know some of you have commitments in your houses with a lot of other people who are undertaking fasting. So if you are free, you should join the leadership for that iftar with the governors this evening at Fraser Suites. So we revert to committee of the whole. Distinguished colleagues, I'd act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Cap 010, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the establishment of the Orthopedic Hospital of Bogun in Osun State and for related matters, Bill 2025, SB 582. Those in support of long title, remaining part of the bill, in page 1, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 2 to 4. Those in support of clauses 2 to 4, remaining part of the bill as recommended, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Explanatory memorandum. Those in support of the remaining part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I stand to move that we revert back to plenary for His Excellency to report progress.
The minority leader.
Mr. President, I second that the Senate do revert back to plenary to report progress.
Yes. The motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary on the Federal Orthopedic Hospitals Amendment Bill 2025 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Clauses 2 to 3 as recommended. Clause 4 as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I stand to move a motion that the Orthopedic Hospital Act Amendment Bill 2025 be now read the third time.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I rise to second the motion as moved by the Senate leader. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that the Orthopedic Hospitals Act Amendment Bill 2025 be now read the third time. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, I bill for an act to amend Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act, Cap 010, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to provide for the establishment of the National Orthopedic Hospital, Obokun, Osun State, and for related matters, 2025, third reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act, Cap 010, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to provide for the establishment of the National Orthopedic Hospital of Bogun in Osun State and for related matters 2025, third reading taken. Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act, Cap 010, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the establishment of the National Orthopedic Hospital of Bogun in Osun State and for related matters 2025, third reading taken and passed. Let me quickly thank the Committee on on tertiary, Committee on Health, Tertiary and Secondary for the work they have done, the Committee on Secondary and Tertiary Health Institutes for what they have done, and then also thank all the committee members for their contribution and my distinguished colleagues for speedy passage of this amendment, and particularly congratulate distinguished Senator Father Honsi and all the people of Osun State for bringing healthcare delivery at the federal level closer to the grassroots of Ogun, and pray that all those who pass through the institution will receive good health and they will have vitality, and that Nigeria will be a better place for all those that use that facility. Congratulations, and may God grant good health to all Nigerians. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the sixth order of the day is consideration of House Bill for Congress on Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, BIDA, Niger State, Establishment Bill 2025, HB 411. Mr. President, for the simple reason of the bill and interchamber reciprocity, will I present a lead debate on the bill?
Yes, Minority Leader. May wish to second the motion moved by the Senate Leader.
Mr. President, motion seconded as moved. Thank you.
Yes, the Leader of the Senate, you may proceed.
Mr. President, lead debate on Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, BIDA, Niger State, Establishment Bill 2025, HB 411, for concurrence from the House of Representatives. Sponsor, Bamidele Michael Okoyemi. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is my honor and pleasure to lead the debate on this important bill from the House of Representatives for concurrence. These bills seek to establish Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, BIDA, in Niger State. Mr. President, my respected colleagues, this bill is straightforward and has gone through necessary legislative process in the House of Representatives. I therefore urge you all to support the second reading of this bill as we refer it to Committee of Whole for clause-by-clause consideration. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any opposition to this bill? None. Okay, so distinguished colleagues, those in support that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk of the Senate may wish to read the bill for the second time.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, BIDA, Niger State, for the purpose of providing qualitative education in medicine and health sciences and for related matters 2025, second reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, BIDA, Niger State, and for the purpose of providing qualitative education in medicine and health sciences and for related matters 2025, second reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, pursuant to Order 78, Sub 3 of Senate Standing Order 2023 as amended, I move that the bill be now referred to Committee of Whole for consideration.
The Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I second that the bill will now be referred to Committee of Whole for clause-by-clause consideration.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this August Assembly do revert to Committee of the Whole for clause-by-clause consideration. Those in support that we revert to Committee of the Whole say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. Report of a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, BIDA, Niger State, for the purpose of providing qualitative education in medicine and health sciences and for related matters 2025, HB 411. Clause 1. There is hereby established the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, BIDA, Niger State. Those in support of Clause 1 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 2 to Clause 10. Those in support of Clauses 2 to 10 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 11 to 20. Those in support of Clauses 11 to 20 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 21 to 28. Those in support of Clauses 21 to 28 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Explanatory memorandum as enshrined therein. Those in support of the explanatory memorandum say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Short title as recommended. Those in support of the short title say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The schedule, which is on page 23 to 27. Those in support of the schedule say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Explanatory memorandum on page 28. Those in support of it say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
May I request, Mr. President, to revert back to plenary in order to report progress? I so move.
Minority Leader.
I second, Mr. President, that we revert back to plenary to report progress. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that the chair reports reverts to plenary to report progress. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences Bida, Niger State Establishment Bill 2025 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended, clauses 1 to 26 as recommended, clause 27 as recommended, clause 28 short title as recommended, schedule 1 and 2 as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I stand to move a motion that this bill now be read the third time.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I second the motion that the bill be read the third time.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this bill be now read the third time. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, I bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, Bida, Niger State, for the purpose of providing qualitative education in medicine and health sciences and for related matters 2025, third reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, Bida, Niger State, for the purpose of providing qualitative education in medicine and health sciences and for related matters 2025, HB 411, third reading taken. Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, Bida, Niger State, for the purpose of providing qualitative education in medicine and health sciences and for related matters 2025, third reading taken and passed. Let me thank the Committee on Secondary and Tertiary Education, Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary, for a wonderful job done. And this bill was originally passed by the House of Representatives, and what we have done is in line with chamber reciprocity, and so we have done the concurrence, and now it awaits transition to Mr. President for assent. So I congratulate the good people of Niger State and Nigerians in general for the establishment of this university, and pray that all Nigerians and those outside Nigeria, because the university community is a global community, will benefit from the education, from the medical studies, health studies that were provided by this institution, and the graduates that will be churned out will be useful to our health facilities across the nation. So I congratulate the good people of Bida and the good people of Niger State for adding another feather to their caps. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the seventh order of the day is a motion standing in the name of Senator Azuku Ekpeyon on urgent need to address the increased cost of data services in Nigeria. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Azuku Ekpeyon to move the motion.
Senator Azuku Ekpeyon.
The President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues, my name is Asuku Ekpeyon, Senator representing the great people of Cross River South. The motion before us is the urgent need to address the increased cost of data services in Nigeria. The Senate notes that telecommunication providers in Nigeria have recently increased the cost of data services by as much as 200%. a move that has placed significant financial strain on millions of Nigerians, especially young people who rely on the internet for their livelihood. The Senate further notes that young Nigerians have embraced the digital economy, leveraging the internet for various income-generating activities, including freelancing and remote work, direct marketing and social media management, e-commerce, online trading, software development, web design, mobile app creation, content creation on various platforms, online education, etc. The Senate is concerned that fiber optic internet services remain unaffordable for the average young Nigerians, leaving them heavily dependent on mobile telecommunications companies for internet access, and that the sudden and substantial increase in data costs threatens their economic survival and limits access to critical digital services. The Senate is further concerned that the reasons provided by telecom providers for the data price hike include high operational costs, unfavorable exchange rates, are untenable, and appears that instead of addressing the root causes of the high cost of doing business in Nigeria, the burden is being unfairly transferred to end users. The Senate is aware that the high cost of doing business in Nigeria is driven by multiple challenges, such as increased operational risk and insurance costs. The Senate believes that urgent government intervention is required to ensure that affordable internet access remains available to all Nigerians, particularly the young Nigerians who are the backbone of Nigeria's digital economy. Distinguished colleagues, we are at the fourth industrial revolution, the Internet of Things. A fast, reliable, and affordable internet is a precursor for Nigeria's effective participation in this industrial revolution. The Senate accordingly resolves to urge the federal government to engage with telecommunications providers to review the recent increase in data costs and ensure the pricing remains fair and affordable for all Nigerians. Call on the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy to develop a policy framework for affordable internet access in Nigeria. C, encourage the federal government to establish and support technology and innovation hubs across the country, providing free and or subsidized internet access to young entrepreneurs, students, and innovators. D, mandate the Senate Committee on Communications to conduct an investigation into the factors driving the high cost of data and provide solutions for a sustainable and business-friendly telecommunications sector. E, call for immediate government action to address the challenges of doing business in Nigeria, particularly in the ICT and telecommunications sector, to prevent further cost increase that negatively impact the economic growth of our dear country. I so move. Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues.
Your party to second the motion. Senator Titus Zav.
Excellency, distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Titus Tatengizam. I represent Benue Northwest. Your Excellency, I rise to support the motion moved by my distinguished colleague and partner, Senator Asuki. I so support. Thank you.
Is it Senator Victor, man?
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Victor Ome. I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, I rise to contribute to this very important motion from Senator Asuko Ekpenyong on the increase on the cost of data charged by communication companies operating in Nigeria. Mr. President, it's not just data. Everything, tariffs have all gone up. In the communication sector, if you buy airtime, buy data, within minutes, you'll be out of data. And we've continued to live under this condition where the citizens have no other way of seeking redress. Even DSTV, high, they've changed their costs or prices, tariff, 3 times in a short while. The same thing with electricity. You buy time for energy, within minutes, you're out of points. So, and people use these things together, simultaneously. When you are suffering on the cost of telecommunication services, you are suffering on the high cost of electricity, you are suffering on the high cost of digital television services. The costs are quite high on Nigerians. And I believe that even the Protection Consumer Commission is not helping out in this matter. So we are, everybody, not only young people who make use of internet that are suffering, everybody, because there's nobody who doesn't use internet, even here in the chamber. We all use internet services. So something has to be done to regulate this absurd increase in tariffs. The citizens are suffering so much in this regard, and we cannot turn blind eye to this. Even though some of them are monopolies in their services, Nigeria cannot afford this high increase in tariffs. Oh, okay. You want to increase time? You're not extending. Okay, so thank you, Mr. President. This motion is very timely, and I believe that something must be done to check the incessant increase in the cost of these services in Nigeria, so that the people will be able to breathe. We're all bearing the costs together. Thank you, Mr. President.
This is Senator Sadiq.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I am Sadiq Sulaiman Umar. I represent the good and decent people of Kwara North. Mr. President, I rise to join the debate in supporting this motion on the urgent need to address the increased cost of data services in Nigeria. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, much as the high cost of data affects everyone in this country, including my humble self, but I'm particularly interested in this because of the manner it affects the young men who are in larger population in this country, who are the most productive sector. They rely on data to acquire resources that we are not able to provide for them. We can't give them jobs. And they use their creativity to ensure that they get productive via various, activities that the mover of the motion have listed. Mr. President, I think that it's very important we ensure that these service providers make life easy for these young men to reduce the social crisis that we are struggling to control. Thank you very much.
Particularly with a motion like this coming from one of the youngest parliamentarians at the federal level. Is there anybody that is opposed to this motion? Okay, so we go to prayers. Prayer 1, urge the federal government to engage with telecommunications providers to review the recent increase in data costs and ensure that pricing remains fair and affordable to all Nigerians. Those in support of amendment?
Yes.
Yes, Senator Isunaso.
Prayer 1, my amendment is that it shouldn't be the federal government. Federal government is too large. It should be the Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy that should engage telecommunication providers in this regard, not the federal government. It's too wide.
Yes. Any seconder? Yes. Distinguished Senator Amos Johanna.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, Amos Johanna Adamo North, arise to second the amendment to Prayer 1. I shall second.
Distinguished colleagues, Prayer 1 has been amended to read, that urge the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Technology to engage with telecommunications providers to review the recent increase in data costs and ensure that pricing remains fair and affordable to all Nigerians. Those in favor of prayer 1 as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2, call on the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy to develop a policy framework for affordable internet services in Nigeria. Those in favor of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 3, encourage the federal government to establish and support tech hubs across the country, providing free or subsidized internet access to young entrepreneurs, students, and innovators. Those in support of prayer 3 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. And prayer 4, mandate the Committee on Communications to conduct an investigation into the factors driving the high cost of data and try to provide solutions for a sustainable and business-friendly telecommunications sector. Those in support of prayer 4 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 5, call for immediate government action to address the challenges of doing business in Nigeria, particularly in the ICT and telecommunications sector, to prevent further cost increases that may negatively impact on the economic growth of the nation. Those in support of prayer 5 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let me thank the Distinguished Senator Asuku Ekpeyon for raising this particular motion to address the plight of internet users, data users across Nigeria. It will not only affect the young people, it will also affect the elderly, and that it will also help to ensure that people are not thrown out of business, because those who are not employed now are self-employed. They utilize data on a daily basis. So this motion, when implemented, will assist particularly our young entrepreneurs, not only to remain in business, but to ensure that they have affordable pricing that will also generate revenue and profits for them. So I thank you for bringing this motion. I thank my colleagues for their contributions and for the amendments done to the prayers. I thank you. So congratulations for this. Leader of the Senate. So for the IFTA with governors by 6:30 today, Distinguished Senator Sadiq Omar, you are being co-opted. Distinguished Senator Osita Exonaso, Distinguished Senator Taitu Zam, Distinguished Senator Shuaib Afolabi, Salisu, Distinguished Senator Wasiu Sani Eshilogun, Distinguished Senator Jimo Ibrahim, CFR, Distinguished Senator Joel Onawakwo, Distinguished Senator Ide Dafinone, Distinguished Senator Sukwa Ekweyon, Distinguished Senator Simon Dalong, Distinguished Senator Dike Plan, Distinguished Senator Annie Anthony, Distinguished Senator Joanna Emos, Distinguished Senator Ekong Samson, Distinguished Senator Akobondu, Distinguished Senator Binus Yaro, Distinguished Senator Kelvin Chuku, Distinguished Senator Victor Ome, Distinguished Senator Ikra Aliu Bilbis, Distinguished Senator Malam Maidori, and any other person that wishes to accompany us can indicate. Leader of the Senate. He's at the Fraser Street, and time is 6:30. I mean, the IFTA with the governors, the party, and other and leadership of the National Assembly, leadership of the House of Representatives, and interested stakeholders from the National Assembly.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, having concluded today's proceedings on the order paper, I hereby move that the Senate do adjourn till Thursday, 27 March 2025 at 11 a.m. I so move.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that having concluded items on the order paper for today, that the Senate adjourns till tomorrow, Thursday, 27th March 2025. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this August Assembly stands adjourned to 27th day of March 2025 by 11 a.m. prompt. Those in support of the adjournment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Accordingly, the Senate is hereby adjourned to 27th day of March 2025 at 11 a.m. prompt. Thank you.